Hey, hey everybody. I see a few of y'all jumping on right now. It is 7 o'clock. Oh my gosh, every Sunday. Can I let y'all in a little secret? I get butterflies in my stomach. I get so excited every time I get on here every Sunday. So, anyway, thank you for joining me yet again. Hopefully, you guys can hear me. I'm going to go to my comments just to make sure because I'm all, oh, what's up, KB? All right. Hey, listen, just drop me a note. Let me know that you can hear me just fine because I'm about to get into this and I want to know that you can hear me. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. All right. So, hi, everybody. It is so good to see you again. Listen, I can't stop looking. I'm changing my hair right now, and I'm working on growing it out. And yeah, it's a process. It's a process going from like nothing, like a boy cut, to these little twisty things. So, roll with me on this. Okay, good. You can hear me. All right, great. Okay, so hello, all my courageous queens, my courageous kings. I say that to you as a word of encouragement, as words of uplift. Courageous kings and courageous queens. That's why I say that every time I say hello, because you are just that. All right, so here we are. Welcome to episode number 21. It's 21. Every time I count it down, I'm tripping. Like, this is 21 times I have jumped on here and spread this knowledge and spread this awareness and had these conversations with you all every weekend, every Sunday. Like, it's awesome. All right, so I'm Angelique Pierce. If you don't know that by now, I don't know what's wrong. But I'm Angelique Pierce. I am a survivor of domestic violence. I am an advocate of freedom and truth. And I am also the founder of Ladder Masters Inspirational Leadership Group, better known as Ladder Masters. Now, I created Ladder Masters. I say this every week. By now, y'all should probably know it. I speak for 3 reasons. They all start with the B. Y'all ready? Bring awareness, break down facades, build conquerors. That's the only 3 reasons I speak. Bring awareness, break down facades, build conquerors. I think next time I'm gonna have a quiz and see who remembers what the 3 things are, 3 pillars of why I speak. But we'll see. All right. My number 2 reason for speaking is to what? Who remembers? I just said it. Break down facades. That's why. And today I'm going to do just that. Do y'all remember the name of this episode? Stop waiting for a punch. Stop waiting for a punch. You are already being emotionally abused. That's where we're going tonight. That's where we're going. All right. Let me first acknowledge my Unique Blessings family, because I think y'all know on every flyer, I put the logo on every flyer. I tell you that this podcast is powered by the UB Podcast Network. It doesn't exist without the Unique Blessings family. And that's the part that I think is awesome. I'm so glad to be a part of it. My lovely friend Chantel Evans, my brother Kenneth Brown, all these people, Jacob Anderson, so many people that are part of the family. I just want to say shout out to all of y'all because I love y'all to pieces. All right, before I go any further, y'all know me. I say a quick prayer. Let me do this quick prayer because it's important for me to ask God to have his spirit here with me as I speak these words. This is so important so that I can say the right things, not just the right things, but the things you need to hear today in this moment right now for your life, or especially if there's someone that you know that needs to hear this message. So, I'm going to push y'all to tag some people, right? Like, get to tagging if you haven't done it yet. Share it to a Facebook group, tag somebody in here. Let's get this popping. But let me say this prayer. Okay, Father, I come before you right now just saying thank you. You have blessed my life in so many ways, brought me through so much, seen me through so many things, put the people in my path to help me get to my next destination. I know you have many places for me to go. This is just but one stop on the journey, God. But I thank you that you have me here and that I'm not back on the other side where I used to be, going through what I was going through, unable to see the light of your word, the light of your spirit, God. So I just thank you right now that the new me, the new Angelique, is sitting here able to speak these words and bring light and life to other people. God, I pray that the words you put in my mouth, I speak them exactly how you would have me to say them. You know I get real. You know I get raw. So help me to say it the way you want me to, but in Angelique speak, because there are so many victims and so many survivors out here that need this word, that need that courage to get out and that strength to stay out. So, God, I thank you right now for what you're doing in this moment, because I know you and I know how you operate and I know how you make things come to be. So I thank you right now that freedom and truth, the things that I'm speaking right now, are what shall come to be in the lives of all the victims and survivors that I'm speaking to tonight. In Jesus' name, I thank you and pray. Amen. That's an amen. All right, so y'all ready? Now, I told y'all, before we go any further, I want you to take a moment to stop, to hit the share button and share it to a Facebook group you're a part of. Tag somebody that you know that needs to hear this message. And yes, I can hear your thoughts. Yep, I'm a mind reader. I can hear your thoughts, and I hear you overthinking it. You're like, oh, but if I tag Keisha in this, then she's going to be like, well, why did he tag me? Or why did she tag me in this? What's she trying to say? What is he trying to say? I'm in an emotionally abusive relationship. Forget all that. All right. Don't worry about what she might think or he might think. Tag him anyway. Find your C, find your courage, and hit that share button or tag somebody right now and keep it moving. All right. So let's keep going because I got a lot to say tonight. And y'all know me. I tell you, I prepare, I research, and I'm on it right now. Okay. Stop waiting for a punch. Stop waiting for a punch. You know why? Because way too many people, I'm jumping in now, y'all. I'm going in. I ain't waiting no more. Way too many people have misconceptions about abuse. Let me just say it this way. They either don't have a real definition of abuse, and so they have no idea how to even classify what it is that they're experiencing, or they recognize that they are being mistreated. That's the interesting one. They recognize they're being mistreated, but they won't define it unless there is some sort of physical violence involved, whether that's pushing, punching, slapping, kicking, strangling. It's not until those things happen that people are defining it as abuse. I say it all the time. Yes, we all saw the movie What's Love Got to Do with It? The story of Tina Turner as played by Angela Bassett. We all saw the movie. And yes, what you saw, her face being bloody, her eye being puffy and black, all that stuff. Yes, that is violence. Not just domestic violence, straight up. I don't care where that happens. If that happens, it's violence. But that is not the only thing that's considered abuse or domestic violence. And I need to clarify that tonight because we get lost in looking at what we see on the pictures that everybody seems to post or what happens in the movies. But domestic violence starts way before all of that. Abuse starts way before all of that. So I'm going to talk about it. Too many of us think that just because the abuse is not yet physical, just because it's not physical, then there isn't a problem. I mean, what? I mean, yeah, we argued or he called me this or that. She said this or that about me. But I mean, it's not like he or she is hitting me. Okay, people, tonight's the night. Tonight's the night for me to help you clear the cobwebs and the fog out of your mind because I misunderstood some stuff too. And then when the hit came, I was like, well, where did this come from? And if I were to rewind the tapes, as we like to say, it started well before the hit actually came to my chest. So here's the thing. Since it is so hard for abusive relationships to stop once they're in motion, then my goal tonight is to help keep you from ever being in that situation. My goal is to help you to stop waiting for the punch. All right. Are y'all with me? Oh, thank you, KB. Blessings and amen to you too. I really, really appreciate that. All right. So y'all a little light tonight. I see 3 people on here. Come on, y'all. Get the tag in. I need y'all to spread this. I've done my advertising. Trust me. So help me out, y'all. Okay. All right. So let me keep going. If, for example, you are being controlled, verbally assaulted, that's important. Did you hear me? Verbally assaulted, because that's a such thing. Isolated, blamed, gaslighted. I said gaslighted. I am going to dig into that one later because woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Yes, indeed. Stonewalled, minimized. Those things are forms of abuse. They are indeed forms of abuse. Now, I want to specifically point out that those types of things are experiences of emotional abuse. Abuse of any kind is complicated, y'all. It's every type of abuse is complicated, point blank. And that's what makes it difficult to identify. This is especially true for emotional abuse. So I'm going to get into that. So with physical abuse, things are they're tangible, right? You can see the abuse. You can see the evidence of violence. That's what makes physical abuse kind of the thing that's like, ding, something's happening. Well, we got to back it up a step because there are other things that are happening. In emotionally abusive relationships, I'm going to tell you right now, that abuse is so sophisticated and it's toxic as well. The mind games are almost unbelievable. That's why I want to bring it to your attention. All right. So, because of these sophisticated mind games, many victims don't even realize that they're even being abused until so much time has passed and the harmful effects have already taken hold. That's what makes it scary. That's what makes it scary. And after all, if abusers were physically violent from the start, what would they do? Tell me. Let's say you met somebody. I don't care, men or women on here. Let's say you met somebody. Y'all went to dinner. You got to the car and he wanted to kiss you or she wanted to kiss you goodnight. And you were like, I'm not ready for that. And they just slapped you right there. What would you do? First date, you get smacked. Where you going? You out, right? You are out. So no, abusers know better than to do that. They need time. They take their time. They got to reel you in a little bit more and wear that mask for a while to get you caught up, to get you in love, right? So that you're trapped and you have to sit back and question, should I leave? Do I get out? But I feel all these feelings for this person. Yeah, okay. Let's not get to that place. Let me help you. So they know you would run and they would never get the chance to even develop that relationship, to have you fall in love and to make you a victim. Timing is everything for abusers. God, I can't stand them calculated SOBs. Timing is everything for them. It all comes down to that. That's why abuse happens over time. They got to make sure they got you in the right spot before they unleash all of what they want to do. So the thing about it is, it kind of reminds me of the story of the boiling frog. Have y'all heard of this? Yeah, exactly, right? Timing and patience. Oh, they are waiting and they are watching and they are studying. But this really does remind me of the story of the boiling frog. If you haven't heard, I'm going to tell it to you real quick. Y'all ready? Here it is. Here it is. If you were to put a frog into boiling water, what's going to happen? I mean, you like literally suddenly put it into boiling, like scalding hot water. It's going to jump out. Who wouldn't do that? If somebody put their hand in it, you're going to pull your hand back. It happens when you turn the sink on and the water was already hot because somebody used it before you. You pull your hand back real fast, right? Same thing. But if you put a frog into cool water, right? And then you slowly bring it to a boil over time. Remember what I just said about time? You slowly bring it to a boil over time. Then the frog is not going to notice the change as the temperature is slowly rising. They're not going to notice. So it doesn't perceive the danger. It doesn't know that in a moment, in a few minutes, this water is going to be boiling. This situation is about to get hot. He's about to throw a right hook. Are you with me? Stay with me. Because the frog's body temperature just keeps adjusting to each small change. Because why? They're small changes. They're less noticeable. They're small situations. They're small arguments. He didn't really say this. He only said that. She only did this, not that. Stay with me. I'm giving you the pieces to the puzzle. I'm giving you the keys to the kingdom. So those increases in temperature, the increases in the abuse, the increases in the anger, as the water goes slowly from cold to boiling hot. But at some point, y'all, at some point, that water is going to reach boiling point. It's 212 degrees. And you know what's going to happen? The frog who's been sitting there thinking, it's just a little change. It's not that bad. It's a little warm. I'm sweating a little bit. He's scaring me a little bit. He's cussing me out a little bit. She did swing a little bit, not paying attention. At some point, the water boils. And you know what? The frog boils to death and dies. I don't want that to be you. I made sure it wasn't me. Thank God it wasn't me, because I made sure I jumped. And it might be time for you to jump, or someone you know to jump. So please, I was talking about water and temperature. Please allow me to be your thermometer today. Please. Let me be your thermometer today and help you gauge what's really going on in your relationship. Here's the question. Are you in refreshing, cool water, meaning a healthy relationship? Or are you in uncomfortably warm water where you're starting to sweat a little bit, meaning it's an unhealthy relationship? Or are you in scalding hot water, which means an abusive relationship? We're going to test it today. Let me be your thermometer. This is where we're going. Are y'all ready to go with me? I need you to be ready because we about to go here. All right? We about to go here. Okay. All right. So I did a lot of research. I tell y'all I do this every week because it's important to me to sit down and actually learn before I speak it to you. Because who am I, right? Like there's so much research out there. I know some things from my own experience, but I'm a studier, I'm a researcher. So I want to send a huge shout out to a gentleman by the name of Jared Justice. I don't know if that's his real last name or if he took it because he's an attorney, but whatever. Jared Justice, he's an attorney in Oregon, and he really provided a lot of great perspective on the topic of emotional and psychological abuse. And that's what I'm going to share today, but put my Angelique spin on it. Y'all know how I do. Put my own thing on this. All right, so let's go. Emotional and psychological abuse. Now, I put emotional in the flyer, but I'm going to talk about both of them because they are very well related. Emotional and psychological abuse are both quite distinct from physical abuse, meaning they do not have bruises or they don't result in physical marks, okay? They're very different. Now, although they do not leave physical marks, let me tell you this, they can be just as destructive, if not more. Emotional and psychological abuse often happen in tandem, meaning together, and they create this situation where you actually feel very much trapped. Let me take this off the screen. Thank you, KB. All right. That's why emotional and psychological abuse often lead to anxiety and depression and even to addictions. This stuff gets really, really serious, y'all. And it's all the things that are at the early onset of a relationship that is progressing to worse abuse. So pay attention here. The more sinister thing about this is that these abusers often make the victim feel at fault. These types of abuse, emotional, psychological, they have you thinking and questioning yourself. They have you thinking, maybe it was me, or maybe I did do that, or oh, it's terrible. It's terrible. Been there, done that. So let's start with emotional abuse. Y'all ready? Emotional abuse refers to the type of abuse that affects how someone feels. Okay? Emotional abuse it affects how you feel. According to the journal by a person by the name of K.P. O'Hagan, emotional abuse impairs the emotional life and impedes emotional development. Y'all, it literally stunts emotional growth. Stay with me. Now, according to Psychology Today, emotional abuse occurs when, this is interesting, resentment starts to outweigh compassion. Emotional abuse starts when resentment starts to outweigh compassion. Resentment starts to outweigh compassion. That's deep. That's deep. That resentment transfers to harsh words, lack of care, and general unfair behavior to someone's partner. That's what it results in. Bottom line, it gets crazy. So now let's keep going. Emotional abuse doesn't simply mean yelling, okay? Because we all yell. Sometimes I yell on this podcast. We all yell. Couples are known to shout at each other when tensions are high and stuff is going crazy with communication and the money, especially with finances and the kids. Okay, yelling happens. It's not just yelling. Let me tell you what it actually is. It's when that yelling turns into an emotional, verbal assault. That's when it becomes a problem. That is when it becomes abusive. Emotional abuse is an attempt to control the other person using that person's emotions as the weapon of choice. Someone turning your own emotions on you and using them as a weapon against you. That is horrible. That's why I'm telling you, y'all, I get on here because I am trying to help y'all crack the code. Like, this thing is terrible, and we all deal with it in some way, shape, or form. But bottom line is, emotional abuse is meant to undermine your self-esteem, to make you question yourself who you are, your entire sense of self and being. That's what it's for. So now listen up. I'm going to give a few examples. And it's going to start with you're being emotionally abused if, okay? You're being emotionally abused if. Are you ready? Now I need you to get really, really honest with yourself. This is where the chat comes in. I need you to jump in. If this sounds like you, feels like you're wondering if it's you, let's start this conversation in the chat. You ready? You are being emotionally abused if your partner blames you for things you cannot control. So, for example, I'm saying partner because that's kind of an easy word. It doesn't matter if, it's a guy, a girl, whatever. So your partner. If your partner purposely gets angry, like they get angry at something that makes zero sense, but yet tells you it's because of something you did or you said, which gives them this right to puff up their chest and act like they got beef and they're so upset and they're so angry and they're so mad and it's because of you. And you're like, I ain't even do nothing but you making it like I did something. So I guess I did something, but I'm sorry. Let me tell you how many times I've been there. I mean, it was all fake, just fronting, just to get me into a place where I'm sorry for something, or I'm constantly checking for his emotional state. And I'm like, my bad. Are you good? How can I fix it? Yeah, okay. That ain't happening ever again. All right. Is that you? Do you find yourself in a situation where your partner is blaming you for things that you have no control over? I want you to get really honest with yourself. If you're on here and this sounds familiar, type me something in the chat. Number 2, you're being emotionally abused if you are constantly being criticized by your partner. Are you listening? The first one was your partner blames you for things you cannot control. The second one is you are constantly being criticized by your partner. What does that sound like? They say things like, I love you, but boom. What you mean, but? You either do or you don't, bruh. Which one is it? I love you, but is a surefire way. Let me tell you, that's the games with words. I love you, but is a surefire way for your partner to criticize you in a way that they can take their love away from you if you don't behave, if you don't do as they want or behave or speak as they want or dress like they want or eat how they want. I love you, but let me tell y'all something. This is a quote I found online. I love it. The most beautiful line is, but I love you. Meaning, in spite of whatever, I love you. The most painful line is, I love you, but you act like a child, or I love you, but you are driving me up a wall, or whatever. Forget that. No, forget that. That word but, once you say but, you have totally negated everything you said in front of it. Are y'all with me? Because that's what this is. Words matter. When we were all growing up, what they say, sticks and stones may break my bones, or words would never hurt me. Nah, that's the greatest lie ever told to kids. The greatest lie ever told to kids. Sticks and stones will break your bones. And guess what? Words will absolutely hurt you. That's why I speak the words from my mouth to your hearing so you can go, you know what? That did happen to me. She or he did say that before, because I need you to hear it and understand it and recognize it. Because if we keep keeping everything in the dark and we don't talk to each other, we don't get really real with each other, we don't speak the truth, then we all miss it. We all keep these blinders on, and there are yet more and more and more cases of abuse and domestic violence. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm sitting here to stop some of that. Whatever I can do, I'm sitting here to stop some of that. I'm telling y'all, I am fired up. So please, if you have not shared this yet, get to sharing. Get to sharing. Tag somebody. Share it to a Facebook group. I'm going to keep going. You're being emotionally abused if your partner isolates you. You're being emotionally abused if your partner isolates you. Example, they only want you to and only allow you to spend time with them, cutting you off from friends and family. I just put my bestie's quote on here, her comment on here. Dress often overlooked as a flag. Been there, done that. My bestie Tenara actually tried to tell me, girl, he talking about how you do your hair and how you dress and all that. That's feel a little bit controlling to me. Oh no, girl, it's just because, he's trying to express the I'm being silly. Express the importance of the event so that I can understand what I'm walking into and that I'm dressed appropriately for the event. Guess what? She was dead ass right. she she was dead right on it. Woo, that little thing in her stomach was like bing, 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 bing. And I was like, but she tried. But yes, dress is often overlooked as a flag. All right, so we've gone through you're being emotionally abusive. Your partner blames you for things you cannot control. That was number one. Two, you are constantly being criticized by your partner. Number three, your partner isolates you from the people who truly love you. Absolutely emotional abuse. Number four, your partner is regularly jealous. Regularly jealous. Can we talk about this? Listen, I know what it means to be in a situation where it's y'all two and y'all got a monogamous relationship and you have expectations of how you each will behave. Very different from someone just being regularly jealous. Example, the jealousy manifests itself into your partner invading your privacy by going through your text messages and your social media accounts, accusing you of cheating when in fact they are the one who's doing the cheating. That was my story. You cheating, you sleeping with people while you traveling for work, blah, blah, blah. First of all, that ain't even my game right there, bro. That's not my game. Your game, not my game. Your thing, not mine. But the accusations came all the time, and the jealousy and the acting like it was crazy, y'all. I'm so glad I ain't in that mess no more. Number five, your partner belittles your accomplishments. Been through this too. Been through this one too. Listen to this. The example is instead of being congratulatory for what you've done, because, we're all amazing human beings, your partner actually takes the initiative and makes it a point to belittle you, whether that is by questioning the significance of your accomplishment. I mean, really, was that big of a deal? Been there. Criticizing it, ignoring it, like, okay, good for you. And back to the regularly scheduled program, right? Been there, done that, or even shaming you for it. So I've been through five things. Your partner blames you for things you cannot control. You are constantly being criticized by your partner. Your partner isolates you. Your partner is regularly jealous. And number five, your partner belittles your accomplishments. There's so many things. I'm giving y'all examples. I'm giving y'all things to hold on to. What brother author say? Love isn't restricted when it's real. No but. That's a man talking. There's no but. There's no but. Love isn't restricted. My God. Thank you. I'm going to leave that up for just a little bit, brother author. All right. So we just talked about emotional abuse. Let's get into psychological abuse. Now, here's the thing. These two are really close and related. All right. Many tactics of psychological abuse are also classified as emotional and vice versa. So don't be confused. I'm just talking about both of them, but pretty much people use them interchangeably. The experts say, however, that psychological abuse falls underneath the category of emotional abuse, but it is a bit more nuanced than the general emotionally abusive behavior. So let me talk about that. The distinguishing features between the two, or factors between the two, is that the stronger effects that psychological abuse has on a victim's mental capacity, the psychological abuse has a stronger effect on your mental. So let's keep going. While emotional abuse affects what people feel, remember I said that? Emotional abuse affects what you feel. Psychological abuse affects what you think. All right? Feelings and your thoughts. But if you really break it down, it's like, okay, how I think will affect my feelings. How I feel will affect my thoughts. That's why they're so connected. So just stay with me. All right, y'all? Stay with me on this one. I'm getting a little academic, but I want to, because I want you to know that this stuff is real and there's research backing it. So while you may be able to minimize the effects of psychological abuse, you may be able to. A number of studies have shown that it results in long-term damage. to someone's mental health. So just keep that in mind, all right? The subtle psychological abuse can even be more harmful. The subtle psychological abuse can even be more harmful than that overt, obvious psychological abuse. So let's dig into some signs that someone may be experiencing or undergoing psychological abuse. Remember, I'm talking about emotional abuse and psychological abuse because everybody seems to, or many people seem to be waiting to be hit or strangled. I don't like saying choking because what has happened when you choke? That's because I ate an M&M, it went down the wrong pipe, or drank some water, went down the wrong pipe. That's choking. Strangling is an action from someone else. Okay, let's be very clear. So everybody's looking for the strangulation marks and the bruises on the arms and the black eyes and the busted nose and the busted lip. Those things are absolutely abuse. But please understand, domestic violence and abuse does not start that way. It starts in these ways: emotional abuse, how you feel. It starts in this way: psychological abuse, how you think. Let's get into that. I got a comment. Let me check this comment real quick. Yes, there you go. All right. Yes, indeed. Let's keep going. So, you ready? Let's dig into some signs. Boom. You're being psychologically abused if, you ready? Let's get honest with ourselves. Let's get honest. Y'all ready? Your partner gaslights you to maintain dominance. Now, I told you in the beginning, we're going to spend some time on gaslighting because that word comes up so much. I know there was a movie back in the 70s or 80s. I bet you KB knows what I'm talking about, or even Brother Arthur knows what I'm talking about, but it was called gaslighting. I think it was actually called that. Gaslighting, the definition is, ready? Manipulating someone by psychological means to get them to question their own sanity. That is manipulation psychologically to get someone to question their own sanity. It's the act of manipulating a person by forcing them to question their thoughts, their memories, and the events that occurred around them. Y'all, I'm going to tell you, I have been gaslighted in my marriage, which thank God is over. Like, I know for a fact, I didn't know this term even at that time, but I thank God for the knowledge and the wisdom I've gained since gaslighting. Techniques that a gaslighter might use. Get ready. If this is you, I need you to go ahead and type something in this chat or send me a DM, a message on the side, because this stuff is real. Here's some of the techniques. Withholding. Withholding is a technique of gaslighting. What do I mean? Meaning that he or she refuses to listen or says they don't understand. I don't know what you mean. No, I don't get that. No. Literally, you're like, I said 1 + 1 is 2. No, I don't get that. I don't understand what you're saying. I'm explaining it to you the best way I can. 1 plus this 1, when you put them together, that's 2. No, I don't know what you mean at all. I really do not understand anything you're saying. It doesn't make any sense. Yes, withholding. Number 2, countering. Countering. What does that mean? When the abuser questions the gaslightees or the victim's memory of an event. What? That's not how it happened. Yes, it was. I remember first we went to the corner. We stopped there at that store right there, that grocery store, remember? And then we bought, no, that is not what we did. Remember what we did. I'm telling y'all, this sounds crazy, but this stuff is real. Gaslighting is a real thing, and it's psychological abuse to make you go, am I for, maybe I didn't go to that store. Did we? Yes, it's crazy. Blocking or diverting is the third tactic. That is when the abuser changes the subject or questions the victim's thinking. Literally, like, what? Okay, so anyway, what I was talking about, but you're like, hold on. Like, wait a minute, we're talking about this. And they move on, blocking or diverting. So I said withholding, countering, blocking or diverting. Y'all ready for this one? Trivializing, definitely been through this one. Making the victim's needs or feelings seem unimportant. I will never forget. I'm going to tell y'all a story. This one's kind of personal, but I'm going to tell it anyway because I feel like sometimes things have to be said because if you don't say it, then people are like, what does she mean? What does she mean? I would never forget. I'm trying to think if I was married at the time or were we just living together. That shouldn't happen anyway. But bottom line is, I remember all the anxiety I was feeling and the way he was treating me in the house. And I was struggling with it. And I was having a hard time connecting. And then he would do that and be so dismissive and so mean and just all kind of stuff was happening. And then he would like demand sex, like demand it. Are y'all listening? I'm really allowing y'all to go in right now with me, okay? He would mistreat me terribly, speak to me. He would isolate, distance himself, totally ignore me, whatever, right? And then demand sex. And I would be like, I can't do this. Do you not understand? Like, I am not able to have this kind of interaction with you and then just lay down and open my legs and have sex with you. Like, I can't do that. Do you not understand? And he flat out told me, what are you talking about? That's ridiculous. No, nobody says that. Like, my feelings were trivializing. He was trying to make me think that something was wrong with me for not being able to connect with him sexually when he was treating me like trash. So it was what? That's the stupidest thing I ever heard. What are you talking about? Literally told me that. I want y'all to understand. Listen, ladies, men, I know I'm talking openly. I know y'all got some stuff or y'all know some people with some stuff. But gaslighting is a real thing. What's wrong with you? No, that doesn't make any sense. You should be able to just have sex. What's wrong with you? Like, I deserve that. I'm your husband or what? Get out of here, bro. You go have sex with yourself. We ain't doing that right now. Go somewhere else. All right, next one. Forgetting, denial. That's number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Forgetting or denial. When the manipulator pretends to have forgotten what actually happened or denies something he or she has previously agreed to. My God, that is gaslighting. Absolutely. And you are sitting there like, oh my God, you have to be kidding me. We stood right here and had a whole conversation about this, and you said, no, I didn't. What are you talking about? I never said that. I would have never agreed. And you're like, you don't even know what to say because you feel like you're just like, God, like, okay, now you're rewinding the tapes in your head and you're like, yes, it happens, y'all. Examples, your partner tells you that you're acting crazy or that you aren't remembering something correctly. Another example is an aspect of gaslighting. Your partner denies the things they said. And even when you have proof, I've been there, I had proof and still denied to make you feel insane. Let me tell y'all a quick story. This is a silly one. It's a silly one, but it happened. I'll never forget. I had a pair of shoes. I had a couple things that were my favorite things, right? They were a pair of dress shoes, but they were like wedge dress shoes, if you get what I'm trying to say. It looked like a heel, but it was a covered toe heel and it was a wedge, right? And I used to love those, but I guess he ain't like them. And I had a certain dress that I used to like to wear. I guess he ain't like that either. And I remember exactly where it was in the closet. I remember exactly where the shoes were in the closet. Do you know one time I came home looking for the shoes and I was like, so I'm like looking around under the bed, everywhere, right? Can't find the shoes, can't find the dress. And I was like, yo, do you know where my shoes are, my brown wedge heels are or whatever? No, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, they were right here, and you know they were right here. And they were no, I y'all, I'm telling y'all, just to make me like, but yes, this happens. That is a part of psychological abuse. If you've been through it, you know what I'm talking about. Let me see what this quote is here. This comment. I'll never get over your boldness and transparency. Bless God for your freedom and the people you are helping. Let me tell y'all who that is. That is a beautiful lady. That is a beautiful lady that I've known for many years. She has done my hair, my baby's hair. She is an amazing natural hair care. I'm gonna call her an artist, a stylist, an artist, all those words. Thank you for coming on to the show. You see what I'm doing my hair right now? I'm kind of twisted and let it grow out because I think I'm gonna get sister locks. I think. So anyway, thank you for joining, Queen. I appreciate you so much. I really, really do. I'm gonna leave that up for a second. All right. You're being psyched. So that was gaslighting. I hope y'all got gaslighting because I tried to break that thing wide open. Okay. You're being psychologically abused if that was the number one. Gaslighting was number one. Number two, your partner manipulates your confidences. Example, when you confide in your partner and your partner uses those truths to get you to do something or to push your insecurities, something that you told them about your family, something that you told them about your childhood. whatever it may be. And then they say, they stored it away right there for the right time. And then it's like, I'm gonna tell everybody this. I'm gonna tell everybody that. Been there, dude. Y'all listen, it happens. Y'all think it's crazy? Y'all think I'm crazy? This is what they do. And it's a matter of control, power and control. I'm gonna tell people this about you. And if I do, you but watch me, watch me. You're like, oh my God, don't do that, don't do that. Right? Because you worry. But guess what? Forget them. I would have said something else. I almost said the other word. Forget them. Okay. Thank you, Queen. I just love you too. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right. Let's keep going. All right. So, number one, your partner gaslights you. This is psychological abuse. They gaslight you to maintain dominance. Number two, your partner manipulates confidences, things you told them in secret, things you thought were between you and them. But they like, you should have never told me because I'm about to run tell that. I'm going to run tell that. Yeah, okay. Tell whatever you want. Number three, your partner regularly guilt trips you. Anybody know about that? Your partner regularly guilt trips you. For example, your partner threatens things like self-harm. This one, I did not experience this one, and I always find this one to be interesting. But an example is your partner threatening self-harm. They're going to hurt themselves as a way to get you to either not to leave or to get you to do what they want you to do. Give up your money, do whatever. So I don't even know, sleep. I don't even know what they do. I didn't experience that one, but it seems to be very, very common, which I read about a lot. Number four, your partner regularly or constantly feeds you messages to get you to fear others. Ready? Your partner tells you that everyone else around them is a liar or doesn't like you, and they're telling blatant lies to you to keep you unstable. So-and-so said this, so-and-so said that, or so-and-so doesn't like you, to keep you unstable, to create tension between you and people that you really don't even have tension or issues with. My God, feeding you messages to keep you away from, to keep you in fear of, and keep you separated from other people. It amazes me the energy that abusers take to do all this emotionally abusive stuff and psychologically abusive stuff, when I swear to you, if they would just put that much time into working, can I preach? If they would just put that much time into reading books, if they will put that much time into starting a business, if they will put that much time into loving themselves, if they will put that much time into taking care of the kids they made, if they would just do a little bit more of that, if they will put that much energy into those things, into actually cleaning up behind themselves. Don't get me started. Can you put that much energy into good things instead of this mess that you like to do and go around and mess over people's lives when they don't deserve it? Can you do that? That's my request today. Can you do that? Because it's ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous that this many people are out here being abusive and that they get to do it over and over and over again, and their friends and their families cover for them and actually help them to do it. Well, guess what? Ain't no covering going on over here. I'm done with it. I'm done with it. And I'm divorced from it. And I am staying away from it. And I'm staying out of it. And I will never walk that path again because it ain't worth it. None of it. Ain't no love that good. What's love got to do with it? Nothing. Not at all. Let's keep going. I want to talk to y'all about something, and it's called codependent relationships. And the thing is, when you find yourself in these, you find yourself, everything you do is like a reaction to your abuser's behavior. When you're being emotionally abused and you're being psychologically abused, that's what you do. Everything is in reaction to your abuser's behavior or your abuser's words. You are in a codependent relationship. If you are unhappy in the relationship, but you fear alternatives, you are in a codependent relationship. If you constantly neglect your own needs for the sake of theirs, you are in a codependent relationship if you ditch your friends and sideline your family to please your partner. That codependency is a part of the abusive cycle. You got to get out. You are in a codependent relationship if you frequently seek out your partner's approval, almost like you don't know what it's like to approve of yourself anymore. Do I have a comment here? I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. All right, I want to make sure I'm not missing anything. You are in a codependent relationship. If you and abusive is what I'm ultimately saying. If you critique yourself, I've done this. If you critique yourself through your abuser's eyes and ignore your own instincts, that is codependency. If you make a lot of sacrifices, oh God, this one just gets to me even when I say it. If you make a lot of sacrifices to please the other person, but it is not reciprocated. When I think of all the sacrifices I made, God, it ain't even worth going back there. It ain't even worth going back there. You are in a codependent relationship if you would rather live in the current state of chaos than to be alone. I am talking, y'all. I am teaching y'all. You have got to know. I'm speaking these words again to your hearing because I need you to hear it in a different way tonight. Hear it in a different way tonight. Because if you can just hear it in a slightly different way and you just absorb it and internalize it for just 1 second and get really, really honest with yourself, you can find your way out of this mess and start fresh and realize that you are so much more than what you are allowing to happen to you. You are so much more than the mess this person's putting you through. And what you deserve is God's best for you. God's best for you. Not what that person claims is all you gonna get, the scraps and the leftovers, but God's best for you. That's what you deserve. That's what I deserved. And that's what I'm gonna get. Y'all hear me? All right. You might be in a codependent relationship if you bite your tongue and repress your feelings just to keep the peace. Are you doing that? I want y'all to get honest. Y'all not commenting a lot tonight, but I swear, I know some of this is going on. If you are biting your tongue and repressing your feelings just to keep the peace, been there. If you feel responsible and take the blame for something that they did, are you doing that? Are you doing that? Think about it. Play back the tapes, y'all. If you defend your abuser when others are pointing out what's happening. No, but that's not, he didn't mean it that way. She didn't mean it. Well, no, it wasn't really like that. Yes, it was. It was all the way like that. It was. You're just not ready to accept it. Open those pretty brown eyes. I had to open mine and realize what was really going on. When you try to rescue them from themselves, okay, no, you can't fix it. You can't, baby. No matter how hard you try. Abuse is some other thing that you cannot fix. You are not God. You got to get away. When you feel guilty for standing up for yourself, like, darn, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Maybe I shouldn't have spoke back. Maybe I shouldn't have spoke up. No, speak up. Your voice. I lost my voice. I got it back now, but I lost it. When you actually think you deserve this treatment now, I never thought I deserved it. Now that, I can tell you that. I didn't think I deserved it. When you believe that nobody else could ever want to be with you, that person has made you think that you are nothing. That's the psychological abuse. Got you thinking in a way that you shouldn't even be thinking about yourself. That's that eating away and chipping away at your self-esteem and your sense of self. When you change your behavior in response to guilt, your abuser says, I can't live without you, so you stay. Nah, forget them. They can live without you. They are clearly showing you they can, that they want to hurt you, not love you. You may be thinking, oh gosh, Angelique, okay, you've been talking for almost an hour now, and you're right. You are bowling right down my lane, Angelique. You have said some things that I know I've been through, that I know I've experienced. So I am definitely being emotionally or psychologically abused. So now what, Angelique? What do I do now, Angelique? You've got all this stuff. Now what? What do I do? Let me say this to you. I'm going to say a few things just because I got to get these out first because this is about safety. If you are being mentally and emotionally abused, I want you to trust your instincts. If you heard something tonight, today on this podcast that feels too eerily familiar, I want you to trust your instincts. Stop waiting for the punch. You are already being abused. It's time to go. I promise you. You don't want to be the frog. You need to jump. It's time to jump. So know that psychological abuse and emotional abuse isn't right, and that you don't have to live this way. You don't. You absolutely can move forward. If you actually fear for your immediately, like your situation for physical violence, if you have an immediate fear of that, then I need you to call 911 or your local emergency service. If you aren't in immediate danger, you are not in immediate danger, and you really are just looking for someone to talk to, or you want to find some place to go, then I want to make sure you know that there is a national domestic violence hotline. The phone number is 800 799 7233. I'm going to say it one more time, 800 799 7233. It's a 24/7 hotline. Literally, they will put you in touch with service providers. They will put you in touch with shelters across the United States. I've called that number more than once when I was in my situation. But let's say that's not your case and you're not in immediate danger and you just want some more understanding. Then here's the thing. It comes down to the specifics of your situation. What you choose to do comes down to the specifics of your situation. Here's what you can do. Accept that the abuse is not your responsibility. It is not your responsibility. Don't try to reason with your abuser. Please don't. Because you may want to help, but I'm going to tell you something, because I've been through this. I've been through the counseling, through the therapist. I've been through the counseling, through the church. I've been through come on now. I tried it 3 or 4 times. Trust me, it is unlikely, highly unlikely, that they will break the pattern of their behavior without professional counseling. And let me be clear, I'm saying they get professional counseling. It's their responsibility to go get that help, not yours, not you. You do not need to join the session. Please do not do that, because couples counseling, regular therapy sessions, it's not for situations of abuse, because the abuser will simply manipulate the counselor or the therapist and you in the situation, then get right back in the car as you go home and start the cycle all back over again. I promise you, I know when they say been there, done that, and I got the badge or the button or the keychain, I got all of it. Been there, done that. So your choice, number one, is accept that the abuse is not your responsibility and do not take it on, because they've been dragging you into it the whole time and making you think everything was on you. Stop the cycle. Number 2 option, disengage and set personal boundaries. What do I mean? That you can decide that you won't respond to abuse or get sucked into the arguments. And then you have to stick to that. You have to stick to it, meaning limit your exposure to the abuser as much as you can. Number 1 was accept that the abuse isn't your responsibility. Number 2, potential action is disengage and set personal boundaries. Number 3, which is my favorite one, exit the relationship or the circumstance, period. I mean, cut all ties. Make it clear that it is over and don't look back. When I tell you, I ain't looking back. I know one time he told me that I was going to come looking for him in the dark with a flashlight. Are y'all listening to me? That dude told me that he thought he had me so whatever, I don't even know what you call that I was going to be looking for him in the dark with a flashlight. Do I look like I'm looking for him? No can do, homeboy. Not interested. Poof, be gone. No, thank you. So my favorite line is cut all ties. And what does that mean? No contact equals no control. Let me repeat that. No contact equals no control. Maybe I should type it. Maybe I should type it into the comments. No contact equals no control. Exclamation mark, 3 of them. No contact equals no control. No contact equals no control. Can y'all remember those 4 words? I hope so. And then the last thing I want to say is give yourself time to heal. Reach out to supportive friends and family members. If you're in school, talk to your teacher or guidance counselor. If you're out of school and you're with you have a good coworker or family member, please talk to them. If you think it'll help, find yourself a therapist. I did. I think I went through like 3 of them, one from the church, one that I knew from somewhere else, one that I found after the fact who was younger than me and she was awesome. Leaving the relationship is more complex. Let me admit this because I was in this situation. Leaving a relationship like this is more complex if you're married and especially if you have children or if you have like commingled assets, right? If that's the situation, then I got to tell you, it's no other way around it. You're probably going to have to seek legal guidance. But do not wait. Do not wait for the person to put their hands around your throat. Do you have any idea how many women die from strangulation in abusive relationships? They literally hold you until you are blacking out and you hit the floor. And some people don't come back from that, y'all. Don't wait till you are getting punched or hit in your head or hit with objects or thrown through walls. You will end up in an emergency room. You may not come back from that. Please listen to what I'm saying. I'm almost begging y'all. If you know somebody needs to hear this, please share it to them. Do not wait. The punch will come. I mean, sure, you can wait for it. Why do that though? Why do it? I thank God I got me and my baby out of that situation. I thank God I got us out of that. Because what was happening to me psychologically and emotionally, financially, spiritually, sexually, all those things that were happening to me, my God, that was enough. Trust me, it was enough. And I had some physical abuse, but he was smart enough not to do anything to my face, not to leave any scars because, oh, why that'd be too obvious. And when the cops come, well, they'll probably take me to jail. So I'm gonna do just enough. I'm gonna put her in a headlock. They won't see that. That won't leave a scar. Oh my God, y'all, when I just think back to it all, I can't tell you how grateful I am for the life I live today at peace in a place where he has never stepped foot into and never will. I thank God for my long-standing protection order that I now have till my baby's 18. Y'all hear me? Ain't got to keep going back and forth to court no more. None of that. Ain't got to do none of that. I got out. I jumped before the water boiled, before it got me burned all the way. I thank you, God, for all of that. So listen, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to say a couple things to end this. Stop waiting for a punch. Stop waiting for the punch. That will never come first. Pay attention. Yes, time to get out now. Time to get out now. Pay attention and acknowledge, not just see them, but acknowledge them. Admit it to yourself. These early warning signs, I'm going to run down a list. The person is manipulative, playing games, insincere. Come on, y'all. They do not feel guilt or remorse. Not at all. He actually spoke the words, you got a conscience. See, I ain't got all that. He actually spoke those words to me on record. I have it recorded. Very envious and jealous. I'm going to keep going down the list. Superficial, overly concerned with image. Okay, I'm going to keep moving. Regularly created intense arguments, created them over the stupidest, mundane, unimportant things, just so that I would be in a situation to be on the defense. Do y'all have any idea? Somebody's always putting you on the defense. That is strategic. That is emotional and psychological abuse at its best. Makes you feel like you're walking on eggshells all the time. Maybe if I don't say this or do this, then he won't get upset and I'll be all right and it'll be calm tonight. It's like minute by minute you're living. When you're in an abusive situation, things are minute by minute. You're always checking the temperature and you're hyper vigilant about what might happen or could happen. I'm telling y'all what it is. Lacks empathy or compassion. Absolutely the truth. Never apologizes or only apologizes to reel you back in. Listen to what I'm telling you. Psychological, emotional. Insist that you are responsible for and need to resolve every issue and problem. Oh, the water got cut off. That's your fault. Why you ain't do this? Why you ain't do? I'm sorry. What you just say? I'm not the one that was supposed to do that. Well, you ain't this. And I'm telling y'all, I've been through all of that. Been through all of it. Goes back and forth between being nice and being distant or mean. That's the Jekyll and Hyde syndrome. Been there, done that. Displays sneaky and insidious behavior. Projects their character flaws onto you. Has an addiction, sex, pornography, whatever, gambling, whatever it is. Pay attention. One more, is never wrong. Never wrong. Because why? They need you to be wrong so that they are always on the offense and you are always in the defense. Truth be told, I'm telling you. Finally, often tells you, this was my experience, as awesome as I know I am, as beautiful as I know God has made me, and with all my flaws, right? We all have them, but often told me everything I wasn't before he would ever praise me for everything that I am. If that is you, if I have hit on any nerves by going through this list or anything I've said earlier tonight, trust me, it is time for you to jump. You don't need to wait for that punch. You are already being punched psychologically and emotionally. You have got to get out now. Are you hearing me? That is me talking to you. If you need to watch this podcast again, to go back and say, did she say this or that? Yep, I said that. If that's you, call me. I got the number scrolling at the bottom. Y'all see that? I added it this week. 855 We Survive. When you type it on the phone, it's 855-937-8784. 855 We Survive. You want to talk to me? You need some insight? I am right here for you. All right, we're at the end. I may have danced in your lane or bowled down your lane. And because of that, because I acknowledge that, and because I know this stirs up a lot of feelings, I'm going to say my positive affirmations and I'm going to shut this down, okay? Ooh, I see some comments. That's a cousin right there. I'm glad you were able to leave and move forward. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I thank God for your strength and for your deliverance. Amen to that. Your transparency will save someone. I am leaving that comment up. I'm going to leave that one up. Thank you. She said, will, all caps. Your transparency will save someone. God, thank you. All right, positive affirmations. Okay, let's refill, y'all. We're going to refill together. Whew. Let's refill together. Breathe, okay? In through your nose, out through your mouth. Okay, let me start by saying this to you. Even if you are in one of these situations or stuff sounds familiar to you, even if it sounds familiar, let me assure you that you were never, ever to blame for this. You have been manipulated. That's the whole point of abuse, is to manipulate for the purpose of gaining and maintaining power and control. You were manipulated, so you were never to blame. But what I do want you to know is that as I sit right here, as all these people are on watching and the others who will watch later, I want you to know that you are not alone. You are not by yourself. There are so many. The statistic says that 1 in 4 women have experienced this. Goodness gracious, if 1 in 4 women have experienced it, I need you to know that you are absolutely not alone. There are many of us out here who are ready to help and to talk and to encourage you and to uplift you. You are stronger than you know. The fact that you're on here listening, the fact that you're seeking out information, the fact that last night in the middle of the night you snuck and grabbed your phone and looked up emotional abuse and looked up domestic violence. I used to do that. I used to read and be like, is this me? Like, I'm Angelique. Like, is this me? I'm a corporate woman doing it big at work and I'm coming home to this mess and this is how I sleep at night. This is me. I can't believe it's me. I'm reading about me. I remember, y'all. I remember that. All right. You define yourself. Forget what they said. I don't care what he told you. I don't care what she said or implied. You are phenomenal. You are beautifully, wonderfully made. You are a child of God. I want you to trust you in that how you see yourself and how you define you. That is the truth, not them. Do not see yourself through their eyes. You are no longer afraid. I am claiming this for you. You are no longer afraid. You are no longer ashamed, no matter what they said or what they did. That is not you anymore. No longer afraid, no longer ashamed. You can break free and you can leave. And not only can you do it, but you have to do it. You have to do it for you. And if you have babies, you have to do it for them. It does get better. I promise you it does. I promise. Look at me. I'm sitting here as living proof. It does get better. It does get easier, one day at a time. Or as my mom would say, minute by minute, hour by hour, day by day. That's my mom. Always said that to me as I was going through it. Minute by minute, hour by hour, day by day. You are not a victim, but a victor. VICTOR. You add a Y to that, that's the victory. All right? Victory. You are a victor. And finally, if you are going through abuse, if you are going through domestic violence, you are a survivor. Or as my good friend Tanika would say, you are a surthriver. That's what she says. Thank you, Tanika. You are a surthriver. All right. We are at the end. I got a few more comments in here. Praise God for your boldness and compassion to help others. Thank y'all. Hey, beautiful. So glad you're on here. Listen, I appreciate all of you. It is 8:07. We are at the end of this podcast. I appreciate you. We are about to go into Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Do y'all know that? October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. The entire month. I have got some stuff planned for y'all, stuff I've never done before. I'm so excited. I may have a speaking opportunity in Philadelphia, so I'm gonna tell y'all about that. If that happens, I'm gonna let you know. But anyway, it has been awesome. I love each one of you. If you yourself need to talk, if you know somebody who needs to talk, please give them that toll-free number, 855 We Survive, 855-937-8784. I am right here. I will give you whatever I can to help you move past this space that you are in your life. It is 8:08. I'm going to get out of here and let y'all get some rest and get them kids ready for school tomorrow. I love you. My baby's not here right now. Mommy's just kind of hanging out. So anyway, I love you. Have a good night, okay? All right, see y'all later.